Snapshot of my little business called Business as Usual. It started quite small with just me, and then that's now 12 years ago, and in Australia, in Sydney. And then without, I think, 2 years passing, I already had a team of 10 to 12 consultants, a lot of freelance work that I involved them in, and freelance consultants in the projects that we have. And the projects are all over the world now, from Africa to, the Pacific area, obviously, Asia. We do quite a lot of work in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, and also North America, and a little bit in Latin America, where we've done some work in Lima and in Peru. And we have some Peruvians in the room, so that's great. Bienvenida. And also in Chile a little bit. So it's a bit of a mix in terms of locations where I've done my work with my team. And it's been great to be back at the PCB with so many cultures in one room, because I love cultures, and that's part of this. All right, you can see here a bit of a snapshot of our customers. Yeah, all different industries, big and small. Medium size is probably our sort of sweet spot where we do a lot of work. The main focus that we have is business continuity, a little bit of information security. Well, not so little anymore. We're now doing actually ISO 27001 gap analysis, but also doing, I don't know who's worked with SOC 2 maybe, and concepts like that. Some other information security models like NIST. So we're now combining all of that in our work. We're doing quite a lot of pre-audit assessments for clients who are then being certified. And we're now going on the path of the PCB audit services. So yeah, it's quite exciting with information security being so linked to business continuity. And we also do some risk management, some ISO 31000 consultancy work, and a little bit of training around that. And mainly in terms of business continuity, now combined with information security scenarios, like cyber scenarios, we do a lot of things like simulation testing. So putting the whole group to the test at an organization and saying, hey, an incident has happened, maybe a DDoS attack or something, network security issue. And then they have to work with that challenge in terms of not just what preventative controls haven't worked at that point clearly, but also how will they respond in terms of whole of business. Yeah, and we'll see during this game how that cooperation might work for you as well. So you can see here a bit of background. I don't know if anyone knows the TU Delft, the University of Delft here. That's quite a big, European university in Holland. I'm always coming back there every year to do this kind of work, games and facilitation, and training people and helping them also get ISO certified from time to time. But it's like a special project every year at my old university. And you can see here a few other things. A lot of these, maybe ITIL and COBIT. Has anybody worked with those concepts before? IT people in the room? Yeah, so I've worked with them for like 25 years now. I know you think I'm 25, but that's not quite the case. So I already had a Dutch direct person saying, you clearly don't look like 25 before. So that was awesome. So yeah, 25 years I've been working with things like ITIL, and in Australia that's all kind of new still. It started like 20 years ago, but they're still kind of getting the idea of processes, you know, rather than departments. Okay, so who in the room is in financial services industry mainly? Okay. Anyone state or federal government or energy related or emergency related services? Yeah. What about healthcare? Anyone in that? Good, because that's the theme of today. Something that touches on all of our hearts is health, right? The next one is technology or utility sectors. Yeah. And what about retail, manufacturing? That's a great cross section we have in this conference. Hey, media. Go on, Charlie. He's got a tag, media, so he's certainly media. Consultancy, anyone? Could be all of you at the same time. Any other sectors you'd like to represent? Yeah, the Dutch. Trading, okay, more financial trading you're talking? Training, yeah, so training services, education. Anyone else in a different sector? Fantastic. So it's actually great to get to know all of you in this way and to know, hey, we have actually all industries pretty much represented here. So let's talk a little bit about cyber and how all the recent data breaches are affecting a lot of organizations and what sort of industries they're being perpetuated in. You can see here obviously some hospital IT system being hacked, and especially because those sorts of industries, especially healthcare, you know, they're running old operating systems. There's people sitting there logging on to XP and all the really old Windows machines and so on that are not properly patched. I don't know if you recognize some of these things, but in other industries too, but especially in health, you know, it can be, the focus is not on technology. You know, it's a tool for doctors to operate people, but it's not a focus area as such in many of them. That's my experience. Yeah, there may be some good examples that you might have seen as consultants in the health industry where it's all really well managed, but my experience is it's quite like that. Virus infecting healthcare systems, you see some more examples here. We had in Australia a major example of census, you know, like the national statistics that we do, as in, you know, measuring what people are at, what they're doing all day long in the country. And that system was brought down, and it affected every single individual in the country. So you've obviously seen many of these examples yourselves in your countries, you know, with data breaches and malware affecting a large population. You can see a few other ones, DDoS attacks, etc. When we get Internet of Things, you know, the material items being connected to information technology and the risks with that, we're talking about some of those in our session on Friday as well. We've got a panel session with Graham as well, with Graham Parker, and with Andros. So we're looking at those issues. So you can see here, once again, this was a train system, but you could have lifts, you could have electricity systems, etc., being affected by malware indirectly or directly. You can see here some more examples of ransomware, etc. So whilst a lot of you have worked with information security, I've noticed, so it's not new to you, really look at your own organization or your major client if you're a consultant, and just close your eyes and be honest and think about this question, okay? You're coming to work tomorrow. It's 9 o'clock and it is bad. There's basically, the IT are saying, don't turn your computer on. There's been a major breach or some sort of malware attack. We don't know how bad it is. That might be happening to any organization in the room. And all the people I know who work in information security, if I ask them, hand on heart, 100% can you be confident that you're protecting your clients or your organizations 100%? None of them will say, is this making sense? Yeah, and whilst we are the experts, right? We're in this room doing all this work all day long. None of us, I suspect, will say, yeah, I'll put my life on it that you will not be hacked as an organization. It's not happening. Yeah, with other topics it's easier, but with information security it's still pretty, well, a big lack of confidence there. So let's visualize, all of us, close your eyes and think this is happening tomorrow. You're walking into the organization you're working for, and at 9 o'clock it's all hands on deck, everybody's hectic. You know, 9 o'clock in the morning, no computers can be used because there's some sort of malware outbreak or data breach. Turn to the person next to you. Find a language that you can actually speak to each other, because there's so many languages in the room, and share within 2 minutes, how would that be for you? Will it be 0? Oops, we got nothing. You know, we really would struggle with that situation. 1 point, maybe, well, we're in a state of flux, you know, it may be all a little bit hectic for a few hours, but definitely we can survive this and the reputation will be managed and we can handle this. Yeah, just to be a little bit of a upheaval, but no problem. Or 2 points is, bring it on. I can't wait for this to happen tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We want to test our plans because we've done it and we're confident this will definitely be not an issue at all. Turn to the person next to you and share for 2 minutes. How would it be? Honestly. Okay? So you found a partner as well? So who, honestly, please let me see a show of hands. Who would say, 2 points, no worries, bring it on? You guys are the experts of the world? Who says 1? Yeah, for a couple of hours, we'll be under control. No worries. I expected that. Who honestly says, well, really? Ooh, this is not good. This is not nice. This will be a struggle. You guys are probably the only honest ones in the room. I'm joking. But, yeah, I mean, this shows something, right? And we are the ones that should be most confident about processes being possible. You know, we can put ISO in place. We can make this work. So, yeah, it's a challenge for most organizations to be really confident and to assure themselves that they can survive this. So here's some big picture chart of the global risks of concern. I mean, the World Economic Forum, they do a meeting every year, early in the year, to talk about big risks. And you can see here the list in terms of likelihood versus impact. And this is done by senior people in government, some senior people in the business world as well. They discuss what are the biggest risks. And where you can see the high impact and high likelihood, they're obviously going to be multiplied to be the biggest risks in the world. Well, 2017, 18 hasn't come out in this way yet, or I haven't seen it yet. But in 2017, you see things like extreme weather events being position 1 and 2. Yeah, but also, when we get to terrorist attacks and cyber attacks, they're all in the top 7 as well, in terms of likelihood. Impact, they're not so big in this year, but I think the coming year, the 2018, especially on cyber, it's acknowledged the impacts are big. The average on a small business alone, $275,000 impact. If a data breach, malware, virus, something happens in a way that it disrupts their business for a day or more, that's it. You know, they have to recover, they have to find different systems, they have to get external help, they have to assess the situation, they have to tell their customers how bad is it, the reputational impacts over time, the knock-on effects on other organizations that they deal with. You're looking at that kind of number. And this is small business, that number. Yeah, the big organizations, there are different statistics. Yeah, and you can challenge me on those statistics. It doesn't actually matter if they're exact. It's the idea that these businesses are bringing this to the table. So you can see here some of the big ones in terms of likelihood. They're mapped in a different way here. Has anyone seen this map before? It's a really cool map, hey? I wish I had that tool to make the software, to do it myself. But you can see here the categories in colors. So you have economic, environmental, geopolitical, societal, and technological. So they're in different colors. And then the little squares, you can see them, the smaller ones being less likelihood and the big ones being bigger likelihood in this particular map. And you can see the bottom left being critical infrastructure breakdown, linked to cyber, linked to terrorist attacks, linked to adverse consequences of technological advances, and linked to data fraud or theft. So these are now being linked up to say what are the knock-on effects, as I said before. And there's quite thick lines between some of them, which indicates a big connection. So for example, infrastructure breakdown and cyber attacks, like I said, Internet of Things, things being linked in terms of hardware to systems, it's getting more and more common. So those are the real issues at the moment. 27001, key question up the top. Will it make you or break you? Who thinks it will make you as an organization? Who says it could break you if it becomes too much tick boxes and compliance and stuff and people don't live the mission, but they just think, oh, we've got an ISO certification, that's it. I think I'm looking at a few people that I had conversations with before, you know, the risk of the tick in the box, compliance, ISO, you know, as if it's the be all and end all. Working with people with those concepts and transforming them is more important, obviously. Yeah, so you can see a few benefits. I mean, there's a great outline in ISO 27001. I'm assuming quite a lot of you have worked in practice with it. Not just training, but actually implementing in organizations. Yeah, maybe half of you, I would say. So, yeah, I guess this is what I want to share. Most of you will know this slide, you know, with all the different parts of the Annex A, the different, controls, control objectives. And yeah, we apply quite a lot of this in our work in consulting, and that standard does help. So I agree, it's a nice common language, it's a good checklist. If you're covering all these sections off, you're pretty well on your way not to forget things. Yeah, but some people forget the actual clauses of the standard, by the way. And they're really important too, like leadership and support and continual improvement and audits and assessments. They're not actually, all of them are not covered in the annex. So that's one little pitfall I've seen. And even with the work that I've done with my team, where we went, oh, well, we'll use the Annex A as a checklist. And then we found in a lot of the work with that client that their real issues were leadership and buy-in and staff not being trained and no awareness. And not all of them are in here. Some are, but not all. Yeah? So don't forget the actual clauses of the actual standard document. Okay, certification training, I do that all over the world. Do you guys all do these kind of sets of standards together as well? 27001, 31K, yeah, 22301. It's a nice package. So we do that all in different regions. And hopefully by doing it step by step all over the world, we change the planet. So, the game, the cyber simulation game. Yeah, what I'd like you to experience is something where instead of just talking about all the standards, what we should all implement, you know, all the best practice, actually go, okay, so if it happens, how will we respond? What are the real challenges that face us as an organization? Who will come at us? You know, who will start shooting? What can we do in advance next time to be better prepared? So that's the focus of this game. Now, the structure of the game, there are 5 teams. 5 teams. I'll go slowly through these points. We also will do a pilot round, a test round, so everybody knows how it kind of flows. So we have 5 teams and team captains. If we have teams of 4 or 5 people, sometimes it's nice to have one spokesperson here and there, but it's up to you. You're flexible with that. And you need to first complete a little bit of basic information about your team. Then I'll reveal a scenario, which is a particular cyber incident that affects your industry, of the teams in the room. They're all going to be affected by that. Then I'll ask each team to send each other various challenge cards. So each team will have a number of challenge cards that they can give to other teams. But the good thing is, you're not going to be hit by challenges. You're going to ask for challenges as a group. So each team will seek challenges because that will gain you points if you respond well to them. So if you're going well and your team is well organized and you've got some good roles, you know, divided so everybody's efficient, you can maybe get through more challenges. So, well, that's the kind of structure of it. And there'll be a joker card at the sort of second part of the game where you can actually write a challenge randomly. If you think, that team at the back there, they're getting way too many points, I'm going to throw them a challenge so that they have to deal with that, basically, you know, so they're interrupted in their flow. So it's a little bit competitive in that regard. Each challenge card you have to complete as a team and then ask the people who challenged you to approve it. So you need to write a response to a particular challenge, but the people who gave you that challenge need to say, yeah, we accept that. That's good enough. Or, no, we're going to give you 1 point for that instead of 10. You hope for 10, right? Because that will give you the most, chance to win the prize. So you have to accept or ask for acceptance of your response that you've given. If there's a dispute, I'm going to be sitting there, and instead of killing each other or throwing heavy things to each other between the teams, please come to me if you have any problem or shout out, and I'll try and facilitate and say, yeah, I agree with this team or agree with that team for these reasons, so that we can keep flowing and that you don't feel you're unnecessarily disadvantaged. Now, the winning team is obviously the one with the highest numbers of points, and then we'll have some discussion and wrap up after that. Okay, so we'll just share a few thoughts on what you felt during that game. Now, there has to be a prize, obviously. So, I have some wonderful little koalas that I brought all the way from Australia. They came in my bag, so the winning team will get a little koala for each person, okay? So this is your what do you say, incentive, all right? And we have plenty enough for that team, so that's the prize. So teams and captains. The first team is Top Healthcare, which is a healthcare organization in our game. I've already told you it's going to be about healthcare. So we're talking about a big health organization with 14 hospitals, big group of companies, right? They're all doing medical services. And team 1 is the senior management of that hospital group. Yeah, so they're the big kahunas who, anyway, they make the decisions. And they'll also have to deal with the issues when there's a real incident. Sorry. Team 2 is the Top Healthcare's IT and security people. Now, in cyber incidents, we find that internal IT find it a struggle to deal with an actual incident all on their own. So we will accept also that they can look out for external support, maybe from cyber specialists, technical specialists who can come in, and they can be called in. Oh, I'm doing this again. Wait. Okay. Team 3 is the Patients Association. So these are people who stand their ground if there's a hack or a data breach and it affects patients and their ability to get services or to have secure communication with the hospital group. Well, they can come together and then lobby that, well, the industry, you know, the government or the hospital group themselves. So you guys are fighting for the rights of the patients. Team 4 is Government Department of Health and Human Services. Yeah, now this is the regulator. So these people are trying to keep this whole industry under control. And team 5 is the media. So they're journalists, bloggers, people who are actually going to cover all the nasty things about this incident. So first of all, I need 5 captains. Who feels really strongly about having a role in a particular team? If I see the first hand, I'm not looking at you guys right now, the first hand I see about top healthcare's senior management is going to be the leader of that team. Anyone particularly interested in that? Senior management role? Who has some experience in dealing with executives and boards and reputational damage? No, it doesn't have to be. We can normally count the numbers, but if you have a specific feeling, I would like you to be able to do it. Okay, anyone in IT who wants to be the leader of the IT and security team, the technical guys? Okay, yes, okay. What is your name?
Jean-Christian.
Jean-Christian. Yes. Jean-Christian, you are going to get the blue envelope, which is over here. Juan Carlos, you might help me with team 2. What about team 3, the lobby group? Who feels pretty strongly about this whole thing? Yes, fantastic. We have a leader over here for team 3. So team 2 is blue, team 3 is green, and that's the gentleman over here. Team 4 is going to be the Department of Health and Human Services regulator, who's saying, yes, fantastic. These 2 guys together, you can be the leaders of that team. 3. Okay, we have a group of team 4, so that's dark yellow, I think. Yeah, dark yellow is 4, right? And then team 5 is the media. Who thinks, I'm going to play that nasty role of the media for a change? I'm going to be blogging about this. I want to know the nasty details. Anyone particularly interested in that role? Has some experience? Charlie, maybe. All right. So I will count all of you guys to be part of a team. Is that okay? You guys are all flexible, right? Nobody has a strong feeling. Okay, so you'll be part of team 1, team 2, the lady here, team 3, team 4, team 5. Okay, team 1, team 2, team 3, the gentleman over there, Robert, team 4, and team 5 over there, team 1, the lady, team 2, team 3, the gentleman with the blue shirt, yeah, team 4, team 5, team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, team 5. Who doesn't have a team over there? You guys all together already? And you guys are team 3, okay. So you're then the gentleman over here, team 5? You guys are 4, okay, team 5. Yeah, that's 5, okay. Team 1, the gentleman here. Team 2, team 3. The lady there, team 5. You're not participating? Okay, team 5. La señora de Peru, de equipo 5, team 1, okay? Now, team 4 is a bit bigger than normal because we've counted quite a few, but their government and health services, they usually have a pretty big job in this game. So you have a bigger team, more discussion, more debate, so good luck with that role, okay? Now, can we have team 1 located over here? Who was the leader of, who's on team 1? All of you guys, team 1. Can you please move over here and receive an envelope, a purple envelope from Carlos? Now, can you move your chairs a little bit around so you can see each other better? It's all flexible. We're here until, well, the rest of the afternoon, so make it comfortable. Team 2, can you be over there in the back? You guys are all going to have to move, sorry. So in the back there is team 2. In the middle somewhere, in the middle of the back, can we get team 3? Team 4 back that side, and team 5 in the front here. Okay? So team 4, the group of the Dutch community, if you guys can go over there, would be great. Yeah? Team 5 is going to be here. Yeah. Team 5 is over here. Team 4 at the back there. Team 5 over here. Are you guys team 3? You guys are 5, huh? Yeah, if you can take just put your seats around, move them a little bit. Great. Now, without starting yet, please don't start yet. Keep the cards the way they are. Keep the cards the way they are. Keep the sequence the way they are, at least, with the clip. In order, in order. All right. We're going to get started. You guys want to find a seat, a couple of chairs around together? Yeah? Okay, 1 more minute, and I'll give you some guidance on what to do. Keep your envelopes closed for now. Keep your envelopes closed for now. And please keep them the way they are. All right, everybody seems to be comfortable almost, yes. So the first challenge, well, actually it's not the huge challenge, but just to think about what does your team actually do? What's their mission in life? What do you do as a day-to-day kind of job? I'm going to give you some notes to fill in. So what colors can you give each team their papers? This is for team 1, and then this is for team 2, so each of them. Yeah, team 3 is in the middle. You're going to need a pen for this, by the way. Now this paper, can you please fill in the front page of that paper? Have a discussion with your team. This shouldn't be too much work, should be about 5 or 10 minutes worth of work to think, what is our mission in life as a team? Business as usual kind of focus, right? The day-to-day focus you have. So we're here at the PCB 2018 Cyber Simulation Game, and these groups are going really, really good. There's so much enthusiasm in the room, they're super competitive, they all want to win the Australian Koala Prize. And I've dealt with some of these debates as well, because what we have in a situation here is a cyber simulation, well, cyber attack being simulated, and each group represents a party that has to respond. And they are challenging each other in lots of different ways. Now, one particular challenge here is, for example, the media is being challenged by the government body, you know, the regulator. And they've come to me, being the mediator, to resolve their issues and to make sure that they're getting all the marks that they should get. So we're in the middle of the game and looking forward to more debates as we go along. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you.